Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Rose and today is going to be a different kind of a video. So, as you may have noticed or not, I haven't been posting a lot of videos recently, and actually probably for like the last year or so I've been a little bit on and off. And there is a reason for that, or multiple reasons actually. And I thought about making this kind of video for such a long time, but I was very scared to talk about personal things or to just share my opinion a little bit more than just to talk about fragrances. And I mean, I have talked about fragrance addiction. I've talked about brands, like products getting more expensive but less quality, all that kind of stuff. And I honestly really like making those kind of videos. So I'm making another one of those, but this is going to be even more personal, and I really hope that nobody's going to be offended by what I'm going to say, because I will talk about a couple of things that some people may take the wrong way. I'm not so sure, but some may agree with me as well. By the way, let me know down in the comments below what you think about these topics. I would love to start a conversation about it. It would be amazing, it would be helpful for me and possibly to other people as well in the best case. Okay, let's start off with number one, the fragrance community, okay? So I do not want to talk about anybody in a bad light. I think that is just a horrible thing to do, and I'm definitely not going to do that. But I will say there's a couple of things that have affected me in not the best way, because I do consume fragrance content myself. You know, I watch YouTube, look at Instagram and so on, and even just because I'm making videos myself, I get a lot of stuff recommended to me, and I follow a lot of fragrance reviewers and so on. I felt almost pressured to purchase more than I would normally do, because it was always like you would always see collections of like 200 fragrances, 400 fragrances, especially people making fragrance content. There wasn't a lot of people that had a relatively small collection, which makes sense if you want to talk about fragrance a lot. But as for me, I don't want to grow my fragrance collection to like 1,000 fragrances when that's not something I would ever do if I didn't have a channel. So I don't want to do it now that I do have a fragrance channel either, because it just doesn't feel right. It feels like fake. It doesn't feel like something I would do in my normal life, so to say. So I don't want to do it just because I have a channel. And by the way, I'm not getting loads of free fragrances, obviously. The brands that have reached out to me, I just haven't been so interested in those products particularly, because it's mostly been like solid fragrances or oils, which I know some of my viewers may love, but I personally don't use them. So I feel like it's kind of weird if I recommend them. I mean, I have used them in the past, but currently, as of now, I'm not using either of those fragrances. So that's why I felt like it's a little bit weird if I accept those free gifts and talk about them and recommend them if I don't, I wouldn't purchase it myself. So it doesn't feel authentic. And I definitely want to stay authentic, right? That's such a big thing for me. Like, I don't want to sell my soul, okay? I don't want to fall into addictive behavior myself, and I certainly don't want to make videos that might make people think that they have to buy all these fragrances, yeah? It's one thing to have a hobby and a passion, but it's another thing to have like an obsession and addiction, and I do not want to support that. And I'm just kind of worried that I would make people feel that they need to own all these fragrances, okay? So that's something I struggle with a little bit. I'm not sure how to find the balance in that, I do still want to make fragrance content. I don't want to be overspending more than I actually want to purchase, and I don't want to make other people buy more than it's good for them and than they would normally buy, okay? So that was something that I struggled with. Okay, then secondly, by the way, I'm really nervous. My heart is literally racing, but for some reason, I just feel like this is what I want to do. So I'm going to do it. Something that is going to be very personal. So basically, the last like 6 months or so have been pretty much one of the hardest phases in my life. So I'm going to try not to cry. Because of that, I have basically You know, when you're in a very, very difficult phase in your life, when you're faced with a lot of problems, when you're faced with grief, when you're faced with loss, when things turn out very, very different than you would have expected, when your life turns into a very different direction than you would have liked it to turn into, it changes your perspective. You rethink a lot of things, right? And basically for me, I literally didn't even feel like buying anything. And the reason for that is like, it seemed so irrelevant. It seemed so very irrelevant. Like material things in general. Like even looking good. Fragrances, obviously. All these little things. And I know everybody reacts to difficult situations in different ways, but this is how I reacted. I just wasn't interested actually in pretty much just anything. I just stopped being interested in anything. And I know that's not gonna stay like this forever. At least I hope not, because it's not a very good way to live. But for the moment being, it just it went very far in the background because it's obviously it's not a priority. The only thing that for me personally I found gave me some kind of comfort was when I felt like I was being helpful to other people. So yeah, and that basically led me to this idea that I wanted to either include some like general life topics onto this channel, or make another channel where I talk about my own experiences, just living life basically, mental health, just going through difficult times and so on. I'm not an expert by any means, but I really love watching people talk about their own experiences, giving advice, because I think we can all help each other a little bit. I actually really enjoy watching YouTube videos of just normal people, if you will, just talking about their life and when they're facing problems and so on in their life. And it can be really, really helpful, I think. So I would like to do that. I don't know if I'm going to include it in this channel or if I'm going to make a whole different channel, because YouTube really hates broad channels. Like YouTube really loves if you really pick a niche and you stick to that. But that is also just it kind of robs your creativity, because obviously fragrance isn't the only topic I'm interested in my life. Duh. So yeah guys, I've decided to make this channel more broad because honestly I need to have a little bit of creative freedom. I don't want to go in the direction of just obsessively doing one thing and then losing the passion for it. That is just very sad to me. So that's why I want to include different topics, and my current passion is especially just talking about life, giving life advice, hopefully communicating a little bit, making each other feel better. I would love that. And I would love to kind of let that flow into my fragrance and beauty videos as well. I want you to feel good. I want you to enjoy my videos. Maybe it'll make you feel a little bit better. Maybe it will put a smile on your face. So I hope this is where I can go with this channel. If you're not interested, that is totally fine. You are welcome to unsubscribe. I'm not offended at all. I hope you're all having a good day or evening or whatever time it is in your country. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.